waterfall stories. Tonight, something opens that most people never notice, not because it is hidden, but because it only appears when everything else becomes completely still. And somehow, tonight, you are awake at the exact moment it begins. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to figure out. You don't have to search for anything, because this place is already starting to reveal itself to you. Slowly, gently, without asking. So just follow at your own pace as the night begins to unfold and something quietly shifts just beneath your awareness. The bell that isn't heard but felt. It begins as a quiet vibration, not in the air, but within you. A soft, steady hum, spreading slowly through your chest, your arms, your hands, as if something deep inside you has been gently touched. You lie still for a moment, feeling it, not trying to understand it, just noticing how calm it is. The room around you remains silent. Moonlight stretches across the stone walls, thin and pale, slipping through a tall window you don't remember noticing before. The light rests softly across the floor, reaching toward your bed, as if it had been waiting there. The hum continues, low, steady, almost comforting, and without thinking, you sit up. The movement feels natural, as though your body had already decided before you did. Your feet touch the floor. The wood beneath them is smooth, cool, slightly worn, like it has been walked on many times, but never hurriedly. As your weight settles, the hum shifts just slightly, acknowledging you. You pause, breathing slowly, feeling the air around you. It is cool but not cold, still but not empty. Your gaze drifts toward the door. It stands closed, simple, quiet, yet something about it feels different now. Your hand lifts, almost on its own, and rests against the surface. The wood is warm, not from heat, but from presence. And as your fingers settle, the hum softens, as if waiting. You gently press. The door opens slowly, not with resistance, but with ease, as though it had already begun opening before you touched it. A thin line of dim light slips through the gap, stretching across the floor toward your feet. The air shifts just slightly, cooler now, inviting. You step forward, and as you cross the threshold, the hum follows, quiet, steady, guiding without leading. The room behind you fades softly into stillness, and the space ahead begins to reveal itself, one quiet step at a time. The corridor that watches back. The corridor greets you the moment you step forward, not with sound, but with response. Light shifts along the walls, subtle at first, then clearer. As your foot touches the floor, the glow adjusts, just enough to meet it. You take another step. This time, the change comes sooner. A faint pulse travels beneath the doors, lining the hallway, one after another, like something quietly waking up. In sequence, you slow. The pulses slow with you. You stop, and everything holds, not frozen, but waiting. You move again, and this time, the corridor reacts faster. A shadow pulls slightly away from your path, making space. A dim light stretches forward, just ahead of your next step, then settles once you arrive. You brush your hand along the wall. The stone shifts in temperature, cools then warmer, as if tracking your movement. You continue forward. Now the responses overlap. Light adjusts, shadows reposition. The faint pulses beneath the doors begin to align. Not perfectly, but noticeably. Something ahead changes. One door, not brighter, not louder, but more aware. You step toward it, and before you reach it, the air around it softens. The light beneath it steadies, locking into the rhythm of your breath. You inhale, and the glow expands. You exhale, and it settles. Your hand lifts, but before you touch it, something else happens. A quiet shift, somewhere deeper in the corridor. Not behind you, not ahead, just nearby. You pause, and the corridor pauses with you. The staircase that waits for you. You step past the door, not opening it, just continuing forward, drawn by something softer, something quieter. At the end of the corridor, a space opens, wide, dim, and still, and there, resting in the center, of one. You approach slowly. The air here feels lighter, almost weightless, as though each step you take requires less effort, less intention. The base of the staircase is incomplete. Only a single step exists, smooth, faintly glowing with a soft blue light. You pause before it. The hum returns, not louder, but clearer. You shift your weight forward, just slightly, and as your foot begins to lift, the next step forms, not suddenly, but gently, rising from nothing, shaping itself just in time. You place your foot down. It holds you perfectly, stable, quiet, certain. Another step. Again, the staircase responds, forming just before you arrive. Each movement you make is met with quiet precision, not ahead of you, not behind you, but exactly with you. You begin to climb, slowly, effortlessly, each step appearing as if it had always been there, waiting for your pace, your rhythm. The blue glow beneath your feet pulses softly, in time with your steps. Step, pause, step, pause. The space around you fades into darkness, but not an empty darkness, a calm one, a holding one. You glance down. The steps behind you have already softened, dissolving into the stillness below, not disappearing, just no longer needed. You continue upward. The air brushes gently against your skin, cool, smooth, steady. There is no rush, no destination in sight, and yet you feel guided, not forward, but upward, inward, somewhere quieter. You slow your pace, and the staircase slows with you, each step forming more gently, lingering a moment longer before you move again. When you pause completely, the staircase stops. No new steps appear. No movement happens. Just stillness, waiting, not asking. You take a breath, and as you exhale, you lift your foot once more. The next step forms, soft blue light unfolding beneath you, welcoming you forward. And as you continue, the hum settles deeper, quieter now, almost blending with your own breath, as if the staircase and you are no longer separate movements, but one slow, continuous flow. rising gently into the night. The library that breathes with you. The final step forms beneath your foot and holds. No more appear. Instead, the space ahead opens. You step forward, and the air changes instantly. Warmer, closer, alive in a quieter way. Shelves rise around you, tall, endless, filled with books that feel present. You take another step, and something responds immediately. A row of books shifts, just slightly, like a collective inhale. You pause. The movement pauses with you. You breathe in, and this time, you see it. Pages lift gently, not turning, just expanding. You exhale. They settle. You test it again. Inhale, and the entire shelf responds. Not dramatically, but clearly. You begin walking. Each step creates a ripple. Books closest to you react first, then those farther away. A soft wave of movement travels outward, following your pace. A faint sound builds. It's not random, rhythmic. Page edges brushing, soft and steady. You reach toward one shelf before your fingers arrive. A single book shifts outward, not fully, just enough. You stop. It stops. You lean closer. The candlelight nearby brightens. Slightly, not illuminating, but aligning. Your fingers hover. The book opens on its own, slowly, as if it has already begun before you decided. The book that opens before you touch it. Your fingers hover just above the surface. You have not touched it yet. And still, the book responds. Its cover opens gently, not with a sound, but with a soft movement of air, like a breath being released. You pause, watching. The pages begin to turn, slowly, one by one, each page lifting, then settling, as if guided by something unseen, yet familiar. A faint golden glow begins to emerge from within, not bright, just enough to illuminate the paper. You lean slightly closer. The scent of the pages deepens, warm, soft, grounding. Your hand lowers, and finally, your fingertips brush the edge. The paper is smooth, cool at first, then gently warming beneath your touch. The pages stop turning. They rest open before you. And what you see is not fixed. Lines begin to form, thin, delicate trails of ink, appearing slowly, as if drawn in real time. You watch as they move, flowing across the page, curving, connecting, creating something that feels familiar, yet new, as a map, but not one that is already complete. It is forming, responding, adjusting. As you stand there, you shift your weight slightly, and one of the lines changes, just a little. A path curves differently. A shape softens, as though your movement has influenced it. You take a small step to the side, and the ink follows, not instantly, but gently, redrawing itself to match you. A faint scratching sound fills the air, soft, steady, like a pen moving across paper. You hold still, and the movement slows. The lines settle, pausing, waiting. You breathe in, and a new path begins to form. You breathe out, and it softens, fading slightly, but not disappearing. The glow of the page reflects softly onto your hands, casting a calm light across your skin. You run your fingers lightly along the edge of the page, and beneath your touch, the ink ripples just slightly, as if aware of you. The map is not showing you where to go. It is not guiding. It is listening. You lift your hand, and the page responds with a gentle shift, as though preparing for something more. You glance ahead, beyond the shelf. The space seems to open just a little more, and the map, still glowing softly, begins to change again, as if it is ready to move with you. The map that changes as you move. You lift the book carefully. It feels lighter than expected, as if much of its weight is not physical, but something quieter, something shared. As you take your first step, the map reacts. A line stretches forward, not drawn all at once, but unfolding just ahead of where you move. You pause, and the line pauses with you. You turn slightly, and the map shifts. Paths redraw themselves, soft curves adjusting, edges reforming, always aligning with you. You begin to walk, slow, steady, and the map moves with you. Ink flows quietly across the page, creating new paths, letting others fade, never erasing completely, just softening what is no longer needed. A faint scratching sound follows each movement, gentle, rhythmic, almost like breathing. The glow of the map lights your hands, casting a cool, calm hue across your fingers. The air around you feels different now, slightly moving, as though the space itself is responding to the map's quiet activity. You pass between shelves, and as you do, the map adjusts. A new path curves toward an opening you had not noticed before. You glance up, and there it is, a doorway partially hidden, now gently revealed by your attention. You take another step, and the map confirms it. The path brightens just slightly, not demanding, just present. You follow. Each step causes a small shift. The ink flows. The lines breathe, always adapting, never fixed. You slow your pace, and the map softens. The glow dims slightly. The movement of ink becomes more subtle. When you pause completely, everything stills. The map rests. The air settles. The library quiets. You stand there, holding it, feeling the calm connection between your movement and its response. Then, gently, you take another step. The ink begins again. A new path forms, and this time it leads beyond the library, toward something softer, something alive, waiting just ahead. The doorway opens further, not by force, but by your presence. And as you move through, the map continues to shift, quietly guiding by following you. The garden that moves with you. The moment you step outside, the air reacts, warmer, full, and alive. The ground softens beneath your feet, stone transitioning into something smoother, more natural. You take a step forward, and the garden shifts, not dramatically, but clearly. Leaves tilt toward you, not all at once, but in sequence. Closest first, then farther. You pause. The movement pauses. You move again. This time, it happens faster. Stems adjust. Petals angle. Soft, glowing plants reposition slightly. as if finding the best way to face you. A quiet rustling spreads outward, layered, responsive. You walk deeper, and now the entire space participates. Nothing stays static. Nothing remains neutral. Each step creates change. A vine curls slightly upward. A cluster of leaves separates, opening a clearer path. The air thickens just enough to be felt. You slow. The garden slows. You stop beside a single closed flower. Still, quiet, waiting. You do nothing. And that's when it happens. The petals begin to open, not triggered by movement, but by stillness, one layer at a time. Slow, precise. The glow within it strengthens. You lean slightly closer. The warmth increases. The scent deepens. Behind you, the rest of the garden settles, aligning not toward you, but with you, the reflection that moves first. The garden opens into a quiet clearing. At its center, a still pond rests, perfectly smooth, undisturbed by even the smallest ripple. You approach slowly. The air cools slightly here, brushing gently across your skin. The glow from the surrounding plants reflects across the water's surface. Soft patterns of light, shifting only when you move. You step closer and stop at the edge. The surface of the pond mirrors everything. The sky above, the soft lights around, and you. Your reflection looks back, still calm, quiet. You tilt your head slightly, and something feels different. It's not wrong, just slightly ahead. You raise your hand, and for the smallest moment, your reflection begins the motion first. Only a fraction of time, barely noticeable, but enough. You pause. Your reflection settles. Just before you do, the water remains perfectly still. No ripple, no distortion, only clarity. You lean a little closer. The cool air near the surface wraps gently around your face. Your breath slows, and as it does, your reflection breathes with you, but always just before. You test it again, a small movement of your fingers, and again it begins just ahead of you, not predicting, not copying, but leading by the smallest margin. You remain still, and your reflection becomes still first. The difference fades. You are almost aligned. The glow from the garden softens around you. The light across the water becomes steadier. Everything feels closer. You kneel beside the pond. The stone beneath you is smooth, cool, grounding. You place your hand near the surface, not touching, just hovering. The water does not move, but the reflection of your hand has already arrived. You take a slow breath, and for a moment, you follow it. You let your movement soften, your pace slow, until the difference between you and the reflection becomes smaller and smaller until there is no difference at all. The timing aligns. The motion matches. Stillness arrives. And in that stillness, the pond deepens, not visually, but in feeling, as if it holds more than reflection, more than image, something quiet and aware. You remain there for a few breaths, letting the calm settle fully. Then gently, you rise, and as you step back, the reflection lingers just for a moment longer before returning to you. The surface remains still, but something has shifted, not in the pond, but in you. And as you turn away, the path continues, leading toward a soft glow in the distance, resting quietly above the water, the bridge that adjusts to your steps. A narrow bridge extends across the far edge of the pond, simple, curved, lined with small lanterns that glow dimly in the night. You walk toward it. The ground beneath your feet returns to smooth stone, cool, steady, reassuring. The air becomes quieter here. The soft rustling of the garden fades behind you. Only the stillness remains. You step onto the bridge, and immediately you feel it, a faint vibration beneath your feet, not unstable, not shifting, just present. A low harmonic hum begins, soft, steady, resonating gently through the structure. You take another step, and the vibration changes, softer now, more aligned with your movement. You slow your pace, and the bridge responds. The hum lowers, becoming deeper, calmer. You pause, and everything stills. The vibration settles completely. The lanterns along the sides dim slightly, as if resting with you. You stand there, feeling the quiet. Then you take a slower step. The bridge answers immediately. A soft resonance returns, but lighter this time, more delicate, as though it has adjusted to your rhythm. You continue forward. Each step creates a subtle shift. The hum follows you, never ahead, never behind, always exactly where you are. You notice the water below, dark as still, reflecting the lantern light in long, quiet streaks. No ripples, no movement, only calm. You place your foot more gently, and the bridge softens further. The vibration becomes almost unnoticeable, like a quiet breath beneath you. The lanterns glow warmer. The air feels stiller. You slow again, and the entire structure follows. Everything aligns with your pace, not guiding you, not resisting, just adjusting. Halfway across, you stop. The hum fades completely. The bridge becomes silent. The lanterns hold a steady glow. You take a breath, and for a moment, everything is perfectly still. Then you step again, and the bridge awakens softly beneath you, not as before, but more refined, more in tune. You continue walking, slow, steady, each step met with quiet precision, until finally the end of the bridge approaches. The vibration fades. The hum softens. The lanterns dim slightly behind you, as if closing gently after your passing. You step onto solid ground once more, and the stillness deepens. Ahead, a structure waits, warm light glowing softly through its windows, quiet, familiar, as if it has been expecting you. You move toward it, carrying the calm rhythm with you as the night continues to unfold. The classroom that remembers you. The door begins opening before you reach it, just enough to let the light spill outward. You step inside, and the room reacts immediately. A chair shifts, a desk settles, the floor beneath you releases a soft sound, not echoing, but responding. You take another step, and the response becomes clearer. The air layers itself, a second presence, not separate, but aligned with your movement. You pause. It pauses. You walk again, and now the room adjusts ahead of you. A chair pulls back slightly. Before you reach it, you move past a desk, and its surface warms just before your hand touches it. You run your fingers across it. The texture deepens, not changing physically, but becoming more noticeable, more real. You move toward the front, and as you do, the entire room begins to settle around you, not reacting anymore, but preparing. You sit, and everything aligns instantly. The air stills. The layered sound disappears. The light softens. The room recognizes your stillness and mirrors it completely. The stars that shift when you look away. The corridor beyond the classroom is shorter, quieter, leading you gently toward an open space. The air cools as you move forward. A soft breeze brushes against your skin, carrying the faint scent of night. You step through the final archway and find yourself beneath the open sky. An observatory, wide and still, with no walls to confine it, only a smooth stone floor, and above, an endless stretch of stars. They glow softly, not distant, but present, closer than they should be. You walk toward the center. Your footsteps echo lightly, carried away by the open air. The breeze moves gently around you, never pushing, only passing. You look up. The stars hold steady, calm, fixed, silent. You focus on one, then another, each one resting exactly where it should be. You lower your gaze, just for a moment, and when you look back, something has changed. Not drastically, not suddenly, but subtly. The stars have shifted, slightly closer now, slightly different. You pause, breathing slow, steady. You look again. They remain still. You look away and back again. The shift happens once more. Gentle, quiet, almost unnoticeable, but real. You begin to understand. It is not movement in space. It is movement in awareness. The stars are not changing on their own. They are responding to when you are not watching. You take a step forward. The stone beneath your feet feels cooler here, more open, more exposed. You look up again, a stillness. Then you soften your gaze. Let it drift, and when you return, the stars have moved again, closer, not toward you, but into clarity. You feel a subtle pressure, not heavy, just a light awareness of the space above you. You sit gently on the stone floor. The surface is cool, grounding, steady. The breeze brushes softly across your face. You rest your hands beside you, and for a moment, you stop trying to follow the movement. You simply allow. You look up, then away, then back again. Each time, the stars adjust, not dramatically, not quickly, but enough to feel alive, enough to feel connected. The more you soften your focus, the more they seem to settle, not moving as often now, not needing to. You breathe in. The air is cool, clear, quiet. You breathe out, and the sky holds still. For a moment, everything aligns. You, the space, the stars. No movement, no chain, only presence. You remain there until the stillness feels complete. Then slowly, you rise, and as you step away, the stars remain steady, not because they have stopped, but because you no longer need them to move. Ahead, a warm glow appears again, softer this time, closer to the ground, and as you walk toward it, the night continues to unfold, quietly, patiently, just as before. The clock that changes your pace. You follow the warm glow back into a quiet, enclosed space. The transition is gentle. The cool air fades, replaced by a soft warmth. The walls around you are smooth, dimly lit, holding a steady golden tone. At the center of the room, a clock stands, tall, simple, unmoving. At least, at first, you step closer, and as you do, a sound begins. Tick, but not as expected. The rhythm is uneven, not fast, not slow, just different. You stop in front of it. The clock face is clear, but the hands move sideways, not in a circle, but in a soft, horizontal drift. You watch. Tick, pause, tick, longer pause. The sound does not pull your attention. It settles into it. You feel your breathing shift, not forced, not controlled, just gently adjusting, slowing slightly. Your shoulders soften, your posture eases. You take a small step, and the ticking changes. The pause becomes longer, the movement smoother. You slow your step, and the clock follows. The sideways motion stretches further, taking more time. The sound softens. Tick, long pause. Tick, you stand still, and the clock nearly stops. The hands drift slowly, barely moving. The sound fades into the background. You take a breath, and the room responds. The light warms slightly. Shadows soften along the walls. Nothing sharp remains. You begin to move again, very slowly, and the clock resumes, not at its original rhythm, but at yours, matching your pace, your breath, your stillness. You walk in a small circle around it, each step smooth, each movement unhurried. The ticking adjusts continuously, never fixed, always aligning. You pause once more, and the clock rests with you. No urgency, no need to continue, just quiet presence. You feel time here, not as something passing, but as something settling, something soft, something you can move within. Without pressure, you take one final step, and the clock responds gently, its motion becoming steady, not because it must, but because you have. The room feels complete now, balanced, calm, the glow soft, ends, the ticking fades, and ahead, a faint shimmer appears along the wall. Not bright, not obvious, but present, waiting for the moment. You stop trying to reach it. The passage that opens only when you stop. The shimmer along the wall remains soft, barely noticeable, yet impossible to ignore. You take a step toward it, and it shifts, not away, not closer, just unchanged. You take another step. The light holds steady. The distance feels the same. You slow your pace, and the shimmer softens further, as if responding not to your direction, but to your intention. You reach out slightly. The air near the wall feels warmer, gentle, smooth, almost like light you could touch. Your fingers hover, but the surface does not open. It does not react. It simply remains. You pause, lowering your hand. Your breath steadies. The room around you becomes quieter. Even the memory of the clock fades. You stand still, not waiting, not expecting, just present. And in that stillness, something changes. The shimmer deepens, not brighter, but clearer. The surface of the wall begins to soften, like light unfolding from within itself. A quiet shift moves across it, not outward, but inward. The space opens, not with a sound, not with movement, but with allowance. A passage reveals itself. Warm light spills gently across your skin. Soft, steady, welcoming. You do not step immediately. You remain where you are, and the opening holds. It does not close. It does not hurry. It simply remains available. You take a slow breath, and as you exhale, you step forward. The moment your foot crosses the threshold, the light adjusts, not dimming, not brightening, but aligning with you. The air inside the passage is smooth, enclosed, yet open. Each step you take feels quieter than the last. The space behind you softens, but does not disappear. It simply rests. You walk deeper. The walls glow faintly. No edges, no shadows, just a continuous presence. You slow your pace, and the passage widens slightly. You pause, and it settles. Everything here responds to your stillness, not your movement. You continue, gentle, unhurried, until the passage begins to open once more. The light ahead becomes softer, more varied, carrying subtle colors within it. And as you step forward, the space expands, revealing something quiet, something floating, waiting without asking. The magic that moves toward you. The room fills the moment you enter, not with objects, but with motion. Fragments of light drift through the air, but they are not random. They are watching. You take a step. Nothing happens. You take another. One fragment shifts, then another. You slow, and the movement increases. Subtle, controlled, intentional. The closer you move to stillness, the more they respond. You stop, and this time, They move first, not quickly, but clearly. One drifts closer, then another, then several more. You remain still, and they gather, not surrounding you, but forming a loose field of motion, each one adjusting, slightly out of sync, yet connected. You lift your hand, and one responds immediately. It changes direction, alters its path, moves closer, not to your hand, but to your movement. You lower your hand. It stays, hovering near. The rest begin to follow similar patterns, not identical, not synchronized, but aware. You take a slow breath, and the entire field tightens, not closing in, but focusing. You exhale, and they spread slightly, still near, still present, now clearly connected to you. The heart that responds to your stillness. At the center of the room, something glows, soft at first, almost hidden among the floating light. But as you move closer, it becomes clearer. A shape, steady, warm, radiating a quiet golden presence. You approach slowly. The fragments of light around you begin to spread out, creating space, not moving away, but making room. The air becomes warmer, smoother, more still. You step closer, and the glow deepens, not brighter, but fuller, more present. You pause, and the glow pauses with you. You take a breath, and the light expands, just slightly. A soft hum fills the space, deeper than before. Steady grounding, calm. You step again, and the glow responds, growing gently, not because you are moving forward, but because you are settling. You slow your steps, and the light grows stronger. You stop, and for a moment, everything holds. The fragments around you become still. The air becomes perfectly calm. The glow at the center remains steady. You notice something. The less you move, the more it responds, not to motion, but to stillness. You soften your posture. Your breath slows. Your shoulders relax. And as you do, the light expands, warm golden, surrounding you, not overwhelming, not intense, just present. You remain where you are, and the glow continues to deepen. hum becomes softer, but more connected. You feel it, not in the air, but within you, the same way the bell had begun. Only now, it is quieter, more settled. You close your eyes, and the warmth surrounds you, not from outside, but from everywhere at once. Time does not pass here, or if it does, it moves differently, gently without edges. You stand within the center, not searching, not moving, simply being, and the heart of the Academy responds, not by guiding you forward, but by meeting you where you are. The light reaches its fullest point. Then, very gently, it steadies, no longer growing, no longer changing. Complete, you open your eyes. The fragments of light begin to drift again, slowly, softly, returning to their quiet motion. The glow remains, but now it feels different. Not something ahead of you, but something within reach, within understanding. You take a slow breath, and as you exhale, the space around you begins to soften, not fading, just settling, as if everything has aligned exactly as it was meant to. And now, something quieter waits, just beyond this moment, the understanding without words. You remain where you are, standing within the soft, golden glow. Nothing asks you to move. Nothing pulls you forward. And yet, something begins to settle, not around you, but within you. The warmth that once felt external now feels shared. The quiet hum, once distant, now feels like your own breath. You take a slow inhale, and the space responds, but more gently now. Less movement, less change, as if it no longer needs to show you anything. You exhale, and the glow softens, not fading, just becoming calmer, more still. You begin to notice something, everything you've experienced. The corridor, the staircase, the library, the garden, the reflection, the bridge, the classroom, the stars, the clock, the passage, the drifting light. None of it was leading you forward, not in the way you first thought. It was responding to how you moved, how you paused, how you softened. You shift your weight slightly, and the space barely reacts now. Only a faint ripple of light, acknowledging but not changing. You take a small step, and the glow remains steady. You stop again, and everything stays as it is. The need for response has faded because the connection is already complete. You breathe in, slow, steady, and as you do, the last of the ambient sounds begin to quiet. The soft hum, the faint crackling, the subtle movements, all settling into stillness. You are no longer moving through the academy. You are resting within it. You close your eyes, and for a moment, there is nothing to notice. No shift, no chain, only a deep, steady calm. You open your eyes again. The space around you is softer now. The edges of light are less defined. The fragments drift more slowly, as if everything is preparing to rest. You turn gently, not because you are being guided, but because it feels natural. And as you do, the room behind you begins to quiet even further. The glow remains, but it no longer expands. It simply stays. You take a step, and this time, nothing changes. Not because the connection is gone, but because it no longer needs to respond. You understand now, without words, without explanation. You take another step, and the space opens softly ahead, not revealing something new, but allowing you to return. The academy begins to rest with you as you move away from the center. The fragments of light drift back, spreading gently through the room. Their glow dims slightly, not disappearing, just softening. The warmth in the air begins to cool, slowly, steadily, like a quiet exhale. You walk through the passage again, and this time it feels different, more familiar, less defined. The walls glow faintly, but their light fades more quickly now. With each step, the space settles faster. You notice your footsteps, softer than before, quieter, almost blending into the ground beneath you. You pause, and the passage stills instantly. No lingering movement, no delay, just rest. You continue, and the light responds more gently than before, barely shifting, barely changing, is slowing with you, sinking, not guiding, not responding strongly, just resting alongside your pace. You step into the room with the clock. The tall structure remains in place, but the ticking is softer now, almost silent. The hands drift slowly, barely moving. You take a step, and there is only the faintest response. A small shift, then stillness. You walk past it, and the clock settles behind you, its motion fading into quiet. The observatory opens again. The stars above are dimmer now, not gone, just softer, more distant. You glance up. They do not shift this time. They remain still. Because you are still, you continue walking. The classroom door opens quietly. Inside, the desks remain in place, but the echoes are gone. The air is still. The memory rests. You pass through. The warmth fades behind you. The corridor returns. Long, quiet, calm, but different now. The lights along the walls are dimmer. The pulses beneath the doors are slower, more relaxed. You walk gently, and the corridor no longer adjusts around you. It simply remains. At peace, you take a breath, and the air feels cooler, more grounded. You continue toward your room, each step softer than the last, each movement quieter. The entire academy is settling, not because it must, but because you have. You reach your door, and this time, it does not open immediately. It waits. You place your hand against it. The wood is still warm, but softer, less responsive. You breathe out, and the door begins to open. Slowly, gently, as if matching your calm. The door that closes on its own timing. You step inside your room. The air is familiar now. Cool, still, quiet. Moonlight stretches across the floor, just as it had before. Nothing has changed, and yet everything feels different. You take a few steps forward. Your feet rest softly against the wooden floor. No sound follows. No echo. Only stillness. Behind you, the door remains open. It's not moving, not closing, just present. You turn slightly, looking back at it. The hallway beyond is dim, calm resting, you face forward again and walk toward your bed. Each step feels heavier now, not in weight, but in calm. Your body settling, your breath slowing. You sit down. The surface beneath you is soft, steady, familiar. You rest your hands beside you. The air remains still. Nothing shifts. Nothing responds, because nothing needs to. You take a slow breath, and as you exhale, something behind you changes. Softly, quietly, the door begins to move. Not quickly, not suddenly, just gently closing. You do not turn to watch. You don't need to. You feel it. The slow movement, the quiet alignment. The door continues, matching your breath. As you settle deeper, it closes further. As your shoulders relax, it moves again. And at the exact moment, you fully release the last bit of tension. The door closes. A soft wooden click, barely audible, marks the end of its movement. The room becomes complete, enclosed. Still, you lie back slowly. The bed supports you fully. The moonlight rests across your body, soft, calm, unmoving. Your breathing is steady now, deep, slow, natural. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to reach. Only this quiet space, this calm presence. The academy no longer moves around you. It rests just as you do, and as you close your eyes, the silence deepens, gently, completely, holding you there, in perfect stillness. The bell that fades instead of rings, as you lie there, still, quiet, settled. Something familiar returns, not as before, not as a beginning, but as a gentle echo. The hum, soft, distant, barely there. It does not rise. It does not grow. It simply appears, like the memory of something you once felt. You notice it in your chest, a faint vibration, so light it almost disappears. As soon as you find it, you take a slow breath, and the hum softens. You exhale, and it fades a little more. It is not calling you, not guiding you. It is releasing, the same quiet presence, now gently dissolving. You rest deeper into the bed. The fabric beneath you feels softer, the air around you stiller. The moonlight dims slightly, not disappearing, just becoming more distant. The hum continues to fade, not abruptly, not completely, just slowly, gently, like a ripple smoothing across water. You listen, not with your ears, but with that same quiet awareness. And each moment, it becomes lighter, more subtle, more still. Your breathing deepens, your body softens, your thoughts drift further apart until they no longer connect. The hum is almost gone now. Only a trace remains, a quiet memory of something that once filled the space. You take one more slow breath, and as you exhale, the last of it fades, not ending, just resting. The silence that follows is not empty. It is full, calm, steady, complete. You feel yourself sinking gently into the bed, supported, held safe. The academy no longer responds because it no longer needs to. Everything has settled. Everything has aligned. And now there is only stillness. The memory that waits, not leaves. The darkness behind your closed eyes is soft, not heavy, not deep, just quiet. Your breathing moves slowly, steady, effortless. The world beyond this moment feels far away, distant, unimportant, and yet something remains, not in front of you, not around you, but within. The memory of the academy, not as images, not as places, but as a feeling, a quiet awareness, a calm presence. It does not fade. It does not leave. It simply rests, waiting, not for you to return quickly, not for you to remember clearly, but just waiting the same way it always has. Patient, still, you drift deeper. Your body loosens completely. Your breath becomes softer, slower, until even that begins to feel distant. The room around you disappears into calm. The moonlight fades into darkness. The edges of everything soften, then dissolve, and somewhere, far beneath thought, far beyond movement, the academy rests, unchanged, unmoving, exactly as it was, exactly as it will be, waiting for a moment when you are ready again. tomorrow, not soon, just someday. And as that quiet understanding settles, you drift gently into sleep, carried by the same calm, the same stillness, the same soft presence that has been with you all along. Good night,